Hey everyone, Jonathan Wood here. In case you don't know me, I am the campus pastor at the Wooster campus of New Point. And we are just thrilled to be here, me, my wife, and my 4 kids. I have 4 daughters, and we just moved out here from Las Vegas. Originally, I am from Denver, Colorado. So, as you can imagine, there is chaos when you move across the country and come into a new place. But it has just been a thrill to be here. But it's in those moments that can be crazy, and many of you guys know life. And that's when you have to really be intentional about your relationships, and in particular, your relationship with God. So it's important to stay disciplined about reading God's Word. So as I was reading today, I was reading from Paul's letter to the Philippians in chapter 4, verse 8. He says this. I want to share it with you. Finally, brothers, whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report, if there is any praiseworthy, if there is any virtue, meditate or think upon these things. And I love how he says that. He's not saying like, hey, whatever is pure, whatever is good report, act upon those things. He's saying, actually, let's start from the very beginning where those things are birthed. Your thoughts. What Paul is doing is bringing us back to the simple concept that your thoughts become your actions become your behaviors become your character, and your character shapes your legacy. And so he's really coming down to a certain discipline. See, for some of us, we look at our thought life as something that cannot be disciplined or controlled. What Paul is saying is, yeah, it can be, but you got to stop thinking that it's just out of your control or it's something that comes natural. It doesn't. We didn't come into this world that's full of chaos, confusion, crime, all types of different things, stress, and think, I'm just thinking upon whatever is lovely, whatever is of good report. No, it actually sometimes when you look around you, it takes a lot of discipline to pull the good and to pull the lovely out of those scenarios. So what Paul is saying here is he's saying, hey, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever things are of good report, think upon those things. So I want to give you 3 quick things that I got from that. One, because this is a discipline and not just something that comes naturally, it's important for us to be on purpose about how we are gauging what our thought life is. So the first thing that I have is find someone in your life that can speak truth to you, that can tell you maybe what's coming out. If your thoughts become your actions, and that actions is what you're saying, so many of us, man, we don't even catch that we are just talking about bad reports. Paul here is saying whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good report. But I know that I can be guilty, and I know that some of us, we know people who are guilty of just negative reports, bad reports. And if you don't have someone in your life, maybe you don't know that could be you. I know that in my case. And so it's important to find people that you would say, hey, if you are kind of steering a different direction and these people see, you want them to say, listen, you told me to keep you accountable, and all I keep hearing about is this and that, which is probably a good litmus test for where your thought life is coming from. So that's 1. 2, maybe you want to journal. You want to maybe help gauge your thought life for that day, where you can just sit down. Now, people think of journaling as writing a book. You don't have to overthink it. It could be really simple. Ask yourself maybe 3 questions, 2 or 3 questions. Questions like, what did I learn today? Who did I meet today? How did I feel today? And what was the majority of my thought life today? It could be any of those things. But it's important to write it down so that you can measure it, so that you can gauge where your thought life is. And the last thing is simply, man, put God's word in your heart. Not just up here and not just read. Put it in your heart. What are some simple, practical ways to do that? Okay, repetition is always the thing that causes us to remember things. So like when we brush our teeth on a regular basis. Maybe it be in the morning and in the evening, hopefully for most of us. And then some of us, we make coffee in the morning first thing. Those are certain habits that are in our lives. So if you aren't marking maybe a time that says, no, I'm not leaving the house, or I'm not doing this, I'm not going to pick up my phone before I pick up God's word and I read something simple. And that simple thing, what I'll do, I'll just tell you real quick, is I read a proverb a day. Whatever day of the month it is, that's what I read. And Proverbs is full of a lot of different wisdom truths and statements. And so I'll get something where I'm like, wow, that hit me hard. And so what I'll do is I'll clip that out. I'll text it to my wife and my kids, and I'll say what I got from that. And it's not always for them, though they get things from it. It's also for me, so that I can remember and I can jot something down without taking just way too long. It's setting in motion certain things that are getting my mind stayed on the right things. So real quick, to recap, find someone in your life that can speak truth to you. You need to do it. 2, think about journaling. Maybe in the morning, in the evening. If it's just one, don't overthink it so that you actually do it. And then 3, make sure that you are marking time to spend with the Lord. These are the things that are going to help discipline your mind and your thought life so that it creates your actions, which create your behaviors, which create your character, and will impact and mark your destiny. Thanks, guys.